The U.S. Senate has voted to approve a $9 billion rescission package that includes $1.1 billion in funding cuts for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. That's for the next 2 years. Both PBS and NPR receive funding from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to conduct their programming and public safety measures. Joining us now with more on what this Senate vote means is Arizona PBS's General Manager, Scott Woelfel. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Normally we have a little disclaimer talking about we have a slight conflict of interest, but I think it's pretty obvious you are the general manager of this television station. And let's talk about, now once again, we're only partway through. This is the Senate vote. It would still have to be approved by the House. But in terms of Arizona, what would the impact of this rescission be?
The impact is quite broad. There are about 25 stations that receive CPB funding in Arizona. Only 2 of those are television stations. The rest are radio stations, your NPR stations, also community radio and tribal radio stations all throughout the state.
And how much, like for example, this station, how much are we looking at potentially losing at a TV station like this?
It's about $2.3 million per year, which is around 13% of our budget. So it's a very significant cut.
Now, obviously, this is nothing new. I mean, not a big surprise. Everybody knew, whether it was going to pass or not, everybody knew this vote was going to happen. What steps have been taken to prepare for this?
Well, we have been preparing for this for a while, knowing that this could come. And so we have just entered our new fiscal year. We're operating under a reduced budget already in anticipation that this could happen. And much work will be done throughout the course of the year to make sure that we can keep those expenses down until we find new sources of revenue. So what does that mean? It means delaying some projects that we wanted to undertake. It'll mean buying less programming. We pay for the programming we get from PBS and from all BBC and all the other sources. And so we'll have to look carefully about which programs we choose to purchase.
And have we seen some of that already, or are these, for example, if there are programs that aren't going to be renewed because of the cost associated with it, have we seen some of those already come to an end, or are these things that will happen in the future?
It'll happen more in the future, though we have already seen at the national level some delays of new programs that were being rolled out by PBS and some of the other providers. And so that is all in anticipation that this could happen, and now it does appear to be coming to reality.
You mentioned the fact that there were a number of stations, both radio and television, around the country, around the state, that are being affected by this. Do you have any information about how it's going to affect those smaller stations in particular?
The smaller stations are going to be hit much harder. As I said, it's about 13% of our budget. Smaller stations, it could be 40, 50, even 60% of the budget. And those are, by definition, in small communities, so they don't have a large membership base like we have that they can go back to and ask for more support. So I'm afraid to say we're probably going to see a lot of those just go by the wayside.
This is funding for something called the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and I'm sure people hear that all the time, but they probably don't understand, its history, why it exists, and what it is. Can you give some background and explain what is the Corporation for Public Broadcasting?
Sure. Regular viewers see it at the start of almost every program on PBS, but it was set up in 1967 in the Public Broadcasting Act as a way to fund public media, public broadcasting by Congress. And it was set up as a private corporation specifically to take it out of politics. Obviously, it's been very much sucked back into politics lately. It was also, what was unique was it was set up as an advance appropriation. So the funding we would get would be 2 years in advance of what was being approved in the current budget. So the money that stands to be rescinded is actually money that was approved in the last Congress and that we were due to be paid this year, and then next year that's the money that will disappear.
Which is why we're referring to it as a rescission, taking that money back.
Right.
Over time, that money has been reduced, though, coming from Congress, correct?
We've seen it go up and down. We always make a request for a certain amount of money, and usually the full request isn't granted. But you've seen, if you look over the 56 years, is actually how many years it's been funded, it's risen significantly over that time. And so this is the first time it's ever been not only have a major drop in funding, but completely gone in this case.
And we should mention, while this is a significant, part of this $9 billion rescission, there's also some other very important things that have been funded in the past that would come to an end. Can you speak more to that?
Yeah, I mean, more than $8 billion of the $9 billion is foreign aid for things like USAID and other programs overseas, which has been a method for the U.S. to exert soft power around the world and provide aid in countries that need it, medical aid, food aid, and things like that, and that's all also part of things being cut.
So it's not just what's going on with public broadcasting, it's that as well.
That's correct.
I guess the bigger question becomes how or should public television stations change what they're doing in light of what's going on at a national level?
Well, we're not going to have any choice. We're going to have to find new sources of funding. And, it goes beyond just the programming I mentioned before. A good 20% of our staff is working around the state on education outreach efforts, working with families and teachers and children to take the place of other programs that just don't exist in Arizona. And so those are things that have been federally funded in a lot of cases, and some local funds as well, state funds. But we're going to have to find other funding to continue to do that sort of work.
As we talked about at the beginning of this is just the Senate vote.
Yep.
There is still the House vote. Is there any expectation that the House would do something different than what the Senate has done in terms of making this rescission?
There's a possibility. I mean, last time when this came through the House the first time, it was passed by a margin of only one vote. So it's possible that we could find other people to come to the other side to vote no and retain the funding. But I would say probably not likely given the tenor in Washington right now. The hopeful news, looking forward to give some level of hope to our viewers, this was for the advance funding, as I said. The funding for the current fiscal year will start, the battle for that will start in the fall for the October 1st budget, which never is passed by October 1st. We will try again at that point to get this funding put into the new budget, and so that we're currently funded instead of advance funded. So we don't know if our efforts will pay off, but we're certainly going to try.
Battles will continue on a regular basis regarding this. And I guess going back to talking about the impact here, realistically, I mean, you're still going to have programming on the air.
Yeah.
So then what changes? What would people at home see differently?
I think on the air you're going to see fewer episodes per season. You'll see more reruns. You'll see a longer time between seasons. A popular show like All Creatures Great and Small, instead of coming out once a year, maybe it'll be every year and a half or every 2 years. So those are the sort of things you'll see over time, not immediately, but over time. But there's so many other things that you're not going to see. The public safety infrastructure that we maintain across the state is funded in large part by CPB. We have to find ways to keep that going, and so we can protect the state from things like the wildfires that are happening right now.
All right. Thanks again for being here, Scott Woelfel, who is the general manager of KAET and the parent company of Arizona Horizon. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.